Okay, so that was The Brightest Void, and we're moving on to A Shadow Self now. I'm sorry if you can hear the yard work outside. I'm gonna try to put music over this video so that you can't hear it, because I'm pretty sure you can. I'm just gonna be using this for lyrics now because I don't trust Google. The first song is Innocence. I think this was released as a single, as like the first single from this album, and it has a music video. This definitely has, you know, the classic TARJA vibe of bringing that symphonic metal fusion. It starts out with this piano part, and she plays the piano on it. There's a really long piano interlude in the middle as well that I think is actually a sample of a Chopin piece, which I don't know classical music very well, so I had to like watch the interview to actually know that. I love this song. It's totally just one of her unique symphonic metal fusion amazing songs in my opinion, and the music video is basically showing a domestic violence situation, and she ends up entering the house because it kind of cuts between her and the band and like this house with the child and the parents, and the dad is about to hit the wife and TARJA enters the house and grabs his hand, and then she had in black and white and the family had been in color, and when she grabs his hand he turns black and white and she turns into color, and the woman and the child are able to escape. And it kind of brought me back to Victim of Ritual a little bit, like completely different situation, but it's like her character in the music video is kind of empowering the other characters in it to live their lives in one way or another. My absolute favorite part of the song is when it's that piano interlude and you get that first like cello beat drop. If you know the part I'm talking about, it is so dramatic, and then it just like keeps increasing and then it ends up going back into the chorus, but that first beat drop, love. Track 2 is Demons in You. You can so hear the artwork. Okay, it's fine. Track 2 is Demons in You featuring Alyssa White Blues. I don't know how to say her name. She's a singer of Arch Enemy, I think, the girl with blue hair. She said that this was a song that she had previously written and she felt something was missing from it, and that's when she called Alyssa to work on it with her, and she agreed, and they did a collab, and they've actually performed this live together too. The verses don't do much for me. I mean, the growling, which is Alyssa's kind of, I think it's like her thing, was just really off-putting, but you know, it has grown on me, and I really like the chorus. It's really catchy, like it will get stuck in your head, and I really like what Alyssa's voice brings to it. I think it brings this whole other depth. I really like the parts where she sings in it as well. This really relates directly to the overall theme. This has the line, the shadow self, in it. Endless my war to reason, falling to pieces when I could see. Now I don't understand, empty. My fears of treason trying to blind me, the brightest void is sucking me in. And that's the first verse. And then like a million geysers still asleep, demons in you, lost in the light, eternal seek for paradise, scared to lose the fight with what's in me, found another side, the darkest thoughts, the deepest sea, where sun and moon arise, it's me. So this song is basically the one that embodies the theme of the album. Like it really explores that here. So the first verse saying, my war to reason, kind of seems like the narrator of the song is trying to push down the darker side. Falling to pieces when I could see, now I don't understand. My fears of treason trying to blind me, like my fears of treason, like being unfaithful to like the lighter side by exploring the darker side. And then the brightest void is sucking me in. Like a million geysers still asleep, demons in you. So there are all these possibilities that you've been ignoring because you thought they were too dark. Lost in light, eternal seek for paradise, scared to lose the fight with what's in me. Basically being scared of the darker side and afraid that it will take over if you explore it. Found another side, darkest thoughts, the deepest sea. There's so much to explore there, where sun and moon arise, both the light and the dark. It's me. I think it just really explores that theme. And then track 3 is No Bitter End, which we already talked about. The only difference that I can hear in this one is that it starts with the bridge, but there's a road for everyone because every heart's the same. And then it goes into that first guitar riff, and I personally prefer it starting with the guitar riff because I just feel like that's a more powerful beginning, but I don't know if there were other changes to it, but that's all I could hear. And then track 4, we have Love to Hate. This song is a masterpiece. Like, I remember just listening to a song over and over when I first got this album, because like, it's very rare that I'm gonna love a song the first time I listen to it. Like, maybe I'll jam out to it or be like, okay, like that's good. But when I actually love a song, you know, it takes multiple listens. And this one was one that kind of stuck out to me the first couple times I listened to the album, and then it just became my favorite. Like, to me, it is the epitome of her perfecting that experimental sound that she started on Colors in the Dark, because this song does not fit a normal pattern, but it works so well in my opinion. Oh my gosh. And this is also the epitome of the soaring vocals in those bridges. Like, can we just? It basically has a first verse and then it just has bridges with instrumental in between and then a much calmer ending. The way it builds, everything about it is just perfect. There are hints of her chest voice in this one, which I think more or less actually work with the song. I mean, I guess I would have preferred it was all in her head voice, but it doesn't really bother me. In her track-by-track interview about this, she says that this song is about people who spend their energy on hatred instead of basically working on themselves or cultivating something in their own life. People that she's met in her line of work and on her journeys that just can't stand to see anyone else happy because they're not happy and they enjoy other people's misery. We know who this is about, okay? At least I know. If you think that this is about people in general, then just take a closer look at the lyrics. I mean, I think it is. Like, I'm not saying it's only about this person, but like, I think, okay, fine. Like, it's about people in general, but like, lyrics very clearly point to someone in particular, especially, I'll just read my favorite lines here, but we're gonna get into this in another video later. I've read your book where anger writes the pages. Like, I think we know what book that's talking about. And then that bridge, which this is also my favorite part of the song because it just soars and it's amazing. Who do you think you are? I gave you the stars. You made them fall from the sky. So this is my goodbye. Mic drop. Okay, anyway. Track 5 is Supremacy, which is a Muse cover. It's really fun to listen to. I love the song in general. She uses her chest voice on this and absolutely slays that chorus with that slide when she sings the Supremacy part. Oh my god. I promised myself that I wouldn't like actually sing any of the parts anymore because it sounds awful, so that's what we're doing. Track 6 is The Living End. This is the only ballad on this album and it definitely has just a really different vibe than her other ballads, and it's definitely not my favorite, but I'll listen to it and I like it. She wrote this one many years ago and ended up using it on this album, and if you watch the track-by-track interview for this one, it's actually really entertaining because she used to hate the sound of bagpipes because she said they always sounded like out of tune. I don't know, the part where she talked about it was really funny and just like imitated the sound of it. It was funny. Anyway, after she listened to a Paul McCartney song that had bagpipes in it, she actually thought, hey, this might work, and so that's how we ended up with that vibe on here, and it just sounds so different. And at the beginning, it sounds very acoustic. I guess it's just not the symphonic feel. I guess that's what is missing that makes it stick out, because we get the acoustic and then the bagpipes, which we've never heard in any of her other songs. And the lyrics kind of made me think of her love for music that's always been with her throughout everything. And when it says, see through my heart, it's open, it kind of relates back to Innocence when it says, inside of me doors will stay open, like kind of like no matter what happens, I'll always like keep places inside of me open for like new experiences. So that kind of connected to that, I think. Yeah, I just think it's about her kind of singing to her love of music or music in general. Yeah, track 7 is Diva. Do I even need to say what this is about? Like, I think if you know anything about the Nightwish drama, this is like her most blatant diss track, like even more than enough. And I love the song. She wrote it in the Caribbean, and she wanted it to have a movie soundtrack feel. It's a very unique song, okay? It's very dramatic. She like rolls R's in it just for fun, and it's just great. I love this one. I also love the part where I don't know how she got these voices, but it's supposed to sound like Thomas. And some people have said it's supposed to be him and Ewo. I don't know, but it very clearly sounds like Thomas whining about his vodka and like a little interlude thing, and I was like, oh my god. The first time I listened to this, I was laughing so hard. Like, it's so great. Anyway, so yeah, if you don't know, in the open letter, the 2005 Nightwish split, in the open letter, Thomas called her a diva, and I feel like as a fandom, we really like brought it around and like turned it into like a positive word, and I feel like she really represented that here, and I love that for her. We'll be discussing this one more in my future video. And then track 8 is Eagle Eye, which we already discussed as well. This is that different instrumental arrangement that I do not like as much as on The Brightest Void. And track 9 is Undertaker, which just reading comments on like YouTube videos and stuff, this is a lot of people's favorite from the album, and I really like it. Love to hate, my opinion's better, but I really like this one too, and another great example of the soaring vocals on that chorus. Perfect. The lyrics are very dark. I had never actually paid very much attention to the lyrics until I was getting ready to do this video. It's about an undertaker. It says, "Bring out your dead, I'll bury them all, leave them with me. Dress them in silk, black as the night where no one can see. Paint them with dirt, shallow their graves, silent their names. Swallowed by earth, written in dust, killing the fame." So I don't know if it's supposed to be about famous people in general or just people that when they die, people forget them, is basically what that's talking about. When death happens, people are forgotten when it says like swallowed by earth, written in dust. So maybe it's talking about that fame doesn't really matter because it all goes away. And then just, yeah, very dark lyrics. At the end of a second verse it says, "Nameless farewell, minding the fall, cover the theft, welcome to hell." And then the chorus says, "Meet your maker, ring your bells in vain, undertaker, I am why you came. Feed your life with every need you have, and down below forever, oh how sad." When it says covered with thorns, knocking the wood, scratching the lid, okay, people are trying to get out of the coffins. Legends are born without fine jewels, here I forbid. So that makes me think that maybe this is supposed to be about like famous people, because that kind of brings back legends are born without fine jewels. Like people are just born as people and they achieve their fame throughout their life, but in death everyone's just brought back to, you know, nothing. But I mean, I think that people have legacies that live on, but I guess in this song maybe she's trying to say that they really don't. I don't know. And then I'm not really sure who the narrator is supposed to be, because it's not the undertaker. It says, "Undertaker, I am why you came." And it says, "Walk amongst you, sing to you sweet dark lullabies, giving you rest, tainting your dreams, cover your eyes." So it's like someone who is potentially haunting people who have died? I don't know. Interesting lyrics, but yeah, I love this song, and it just is very cohesive to me. Like it all just fits together so well, and the tune, the vocals, so beautiful. It all just goes together. And then track 10 is "Calling from the Wild." Not a huge fan of this one. I really like the verses actually, but the chorus is well too in your face. We're just getting back to that same thing that just bothers me. I mean, again, it's just like my opinion. I'm not saying it's a bad song. I feel like I keep having to say that. I'm just like afraid people are gonna come at me in the comments or something. These are all just my opinions. I mean, except the fact that Love to Hate's the best, because that's a fact. But anyway, there's also this part that sounds like Elven Path. I feel like I can hardly find any of her songs that I'd say, oh, like this sounds like this Nightwish song, because they don't. Like her style is completely different. The only song that I used to think sounded like Nightwish was Sadness in the Night, until I realized that she didn't write that one. But for this, like the part when she speaks the chorus basically, like that literally sounds like Elven Path. Like the cadence of it sounds like the beginning of Elven Path. Let me know if you agree. The staccato vocalization part reminded me of Siren's Well, or however you pronounce that, the song that I don't like from My Winter Storm. It was just too in your face. But overall, you know, it's not a bad song. It's just not really my favorite. And just that the lyrics are supposed to be about nature and kind of the sad things that happened when, you know, people destroy nature in some way. And then finally we have track 11, Too Many. This one is very interesting. I'd say it's grown on me a little bit. Still not my favorite. I thought it was kind of weird the first time I listened to it, which, you know, kind of is the case with a lot of her songs, because like I said with Colors in the Dark, like with her more experimental sound, a lot of her songs aren't easy listening. Like it's not something you're gonna hear and be like, oh wow, that's a jam. Like you have to kind of listen to it a couple times to kind of appreciate it. I think a lot of the songs on this album really fit that. Too Many makes use of kind of chant-like vocals that are going throughout. It starts with that and then they come back throughout, and then finally at the end it's just vocalization, which is really beautiful over those chanting parts again. I really like the verses and everything. It seems kind of like it's about wanting to reconcile with someone for the verses, but it's hard to make out necessarily what the too many is about, because the part that goes through it all says, "Many too many living their fears, only a few won't fade away, not too many facing their tears when sunrise outshines the gray." Why would there be too many people living their fears though? Shouldn't everyone be living their fears in some way? I don't know. When it says only few won't fade away, that is now making me think of Undertaker, because she's saying that everyone fades away eventually, even if they're famous during their life. When they die, that all goes away. Like I get an Undertaker that it's like when she says legends are born without fine jewels, okay, like at birth we were all the same and at death we're reduced to nothing again, like you're just another dead person no matter what happened during your life. But I still, like, is she saying that like people don't have a legacy? Like I don't know. Anyway, so, but that makes me think of that again. And then not too many facing their tears when sunrise outshines the gray. The sunrise outshines the gray is relating to the theme again, I think a little bit with the light and darkness. And then it's in third person. She couldn't see the world within her hands, so beautiful, no one could hear the silence calling her. Missed forever, wonder why, close and far as you and I, like ice flowers trapped in time. What if I could rescue us, if I could fight back life, break my pride for a moment in time. It just makes me think of wanting to reconcile with someone, and it could maybe a little bit be related to an empty dream, like when you feel like you've lost a connection with someone and want to bring it back. But I don't know how that relates to the too many necessarily. And then in the second verse it goes into he couldn't heal the broken memories, a sacrifice, no one could read the silence in his eyes, just a canvas in the sky, perfect sunset long denied, spirits flying, birds that cease their wanderlust fall. And then it goes back into that chorus. So yeah, I can like connect parts of it to other things, but I really don't know what to make of the song as a whole. I'd be really curious to hear if you guys have your own interpretations. As always, I would love to discuss more about the lyrics because I'm just a literal person. Like I tend to take things very literally. Like I was never good at analyzing literature. I majored in English creative writing in college, but I was really trying to focus on the creative writing part, not the literature. Somehow I got through it. Like when I see something in a book and it's like, what does that mean? Like what it says. Like I'm not good at like coming up with my own interpretations. Usually if someone else makes a point, then I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of get where you're going with that and I can build off of it, but I'm really bad at coming up with my own ideas there. So anyway, that's that. If you guys have interpretations, please let me know. And I think that was all we had. I would love to know your favorites and yeah, just what you think of these albums. And I will be doing In the Raw next time, which I actually haven't even listened to that whole album yet. There's just so much music to listen to, you know? I listened to it, I might have listened to the whole thing when it came out, but I certainly don't remember it. The one that stick with me, no, I'm not even gonna tell you what my favorite one is. You'll find out in that video. I have very clear favorites so far, but I've only listened to about half of it, so I will be getting that all together. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a like and subscribe if you would like to see more content, and I will see you next time. Bye.